Hello. Once again, I come before you as a representative of the Illuminati. You may call me the Man. Well, I make this video today with a heavy heart. Today I have to announce that Elvis Aaron Presley has died. And I know most of you are thinking, well, you're a little late. That dude's the man. He died back in August of 1977. No, actually he didn't. Elvis Presley died October 8th, 2013, and I have just come from his funeral, so it's still a little, still a little raw. It was a very touching, very moving funeral. There's a lot of singing, of course, Love Me Tender, Peace in the Valley, stuff like that. And Elvis, of course, being Elvis, after his death, he couldn't stop recording, so he actually wound up singing most of his own funeral. It was a good way, a fitting way to go out. And so, yeah, he was quite the fellow. 78 years old. Now, you're probably wondering why we had him fake his death. It occurs to me I should probably do a whole series of videos on great historic moments in the Illuminati. I have already mentioned, of course, that the assassination of Jack Kennedy, what was going on there was we had to remove a shape-shifting alien who had replaced Jackie Kennedy and then replaced the president with an android. So we shot the android, but everybody thought we'd shot the president. Anyway, it was a whole mess. Yeah, I've already mentioned that. And actually, Jack Kennedy was at the funeral. The two of them are really good friends. I mean, they were both dead, and he was living in Wyoming, and Elvis is up. Nah, I'm not going to worry about that. Nobody's going to be able to find him in Wyoming. Anyway, yeah. But so you fast forward a little bit, you see, and we had to do things on the down low. We had to do things under the radar. The assassination was way too public. And so it came to our attention that the gray aliens that I have mentioned, I think, in the alien video, the grays, of course, are all clones from the original gray alien, whose job it was, or his idea it was, I guess, to catalog every bacteriological species in the entire universe. Well, he knew, of course, he was not going to be able to live that long. So he cloned himself, and they cloned themselves, and so on and so forth. So every gray that you meet is actually a clone of that original gray. Well, the grays that landed here got into the movie business, and they gave up the whole bacteriological thing altogether, but they all settled into the entertainment industry. And that's why, of course, Hollywood keeps making the same movie over and over and over again, is because the grays are not really original thinkers, let's just say. And anyway, back in the late 60s, early 70s, there was a problem with that batch of gray alien clones. They came out very aggressive, and they had decided that they were just going to take over the world, actually. Instead of studying species or being in the entertainment business or whatever, they decided they're just going to replace everybody with themselves. And they got off to a good start. People started disappearing. People were making really bad decisions in politics and stuff. Either you went away or you got bought off. And so it came to our attention that this was happening, and we decided, of course, we couldn't let that happen. We're trying to progress all of humanity into a golden age of enlightenment. And so we worked with several people that we knew were human in politics and entertainment. Now, of course, one of those guys was Richard Nixon. And that's why he kept taping everybody, and that's why he had people investigating other people's headquarters, and that's what led to Watergate. Really, he wasn't trying to find out what the Democrats' plans were. What he was trying to do is see if they're actually human. And they were. That's good news. Anyway, but he took a big rap for that. And, of course, he couldn't come out right and say, we've got an alien invasion. It would cause a worldwide panic. So he actually just took the fall for that. Yeah. We had Gerald Ford pardon him. I mean, he became an elder statesman later, right? So kind of made up for it. Anyway, in the entertainment business, one of our operatives was Elvis Presley. In fact, he was our chief operative because he was just really, really good at finding these guys. He could shake your hand and know how to relate to you. And if he couldn't relate to you, he knew that you were an alien. And so he was better than a hound dog. Yeah, he'd love that joke. Anyway, yeah. So he kind of rooted out these guys, and we overcame them. The aliens that were left, we rounded them up. A lot of them escaped into space. I wouldn't say a lot, maybe I don't know, 20 or 30. They got off into space and stuff, or cast off into space at light speed. Anyway, they were gone. Okay, so yeah, they were angry about that. They were very aggressive. Yeah, I think fire ants. Yeah. They were not happy, and so we got word from some of our other alien allies that they were coming back, and as soon as they could find a way to turn that ship around and head back this way, we figured about 9-10 years, they were going to track down everybody who had been involved, and they were going to kill them and their families. Well, a lot of those guys, it wasn't a problem. Of course, President Nixon's got security. It's kind of hard to take him out. Anyway, Richard Nixon survives, but Elvis Presley had to go away. So we started about 1972, 1973. He started putting on weight. We put it around that he was taking a lot of drugs. And so 1977, when he had his heart attack, well, nobody questioned him. Saved his family a lot of grief. Well, a little bit of grief they had, but he wanted them to live a lot more than he wanted to be Elvis Presley. Let's just say that. But Elvis being Elvis, he just couldn't sit still, and so he occasionally would pop up. In those early days, in the late 70s and early 80s, they were tough. It's like, dude, we have to keep you under wraps here. But we arranged this whole Elvis impersonator stuff to go on in Las Vegas, so he could actually go back to the town that he used to perform in, and he could still pretend to be himself, or pretend to be someone else pretending to be himself. Anyway, he got to perform, and he was really, really happy about it until he got too old to do it and to pull that off. But he got to do that, and so, yeah, he had a nice life. Let's just say, Elvis Aaron Presley. He had a very nice life. He died 78 years old, and we're going to miss him. He was a great man. So that's this week's topic. I hope that you take some time. You remember old Elvis. And of course, if you have any comments or questions, just leave them down in the comment section below. And and speaking of things in below, if you go down to the description link, you'll see a Facebook page. And of course, if you click on that, you'll see a picture with me and Elvis. I met him back in the 70s, before he gained all that weight, and before a lot of these white hairs in the old beard. Oh boy, that was a lot of fun. Those 70s. Cars are really big though. Huge. Anyway, yeah. So if you go, you can click on that, and of course you can leave a comment or a question there as well. So I'm going to miss him. I really am. He was just a great guy. But anyway, this is the man. I want to encourage you. I usually have a normal sign off, but I'm going to add a little something this week. I suggest that when you walk outside your house or your apartment or whatever, you take an iPod with you or some sort of MP3 player, and listen to the classics of Elvis as you look up in the sky and see those chemtrails blazing up there. And then you should just relax and breathe deeply.